In today's competitive job market, having a well-crafted resume is crucial to stand out from the crowd. Artificial intelligence has revolutionized the resume building process, making it more efficient, effective, and personalized. Whether you are a fresh graduate or a seasoned professional with years of experience, mastering the art of crafting a standout resume from scratch is very crucial. Now let's dive in and make your resume shine. But let's look at the agenda for this session. So in this video, we shall talk about number 1, the importance of AI in resume building. Then we'll talk about how to build an ATS-friendly resume. Finally, we'll craft a resume from scratch using ChatGPT's newest model, GPT-4o. Now stick around till the very end of this video for an exclusive bonus section that you do not want to miss it. But before that, make sure you're subscribing to this channel so that you do not miss out on any new updates coming on our channel. Now, firstly, we'll explore the importance of AI in resume building and how it can benefit the job seekers. Number 1 comes the enhanced accuracy aspect. So, AI-powered resume building tools utilize machine learning algorithms to analyze resumes and identify errors, inaccuracies and inconsistencies. Now this ensures that your resume is error-free, formatting is correct and information is up to date. Second comes personalized recommendations. Now AI-driven tools provide personalized suggestions and recommendations based on your skills, experience and job requirements. Now this helps you tailor your resume to a specific job that you are applying for, increasing your chances to getting noticed. Then comes the most important aspect, that is keyword optimization. Now AI-powered tools analyze job descriptions and identify relevant keywords, ensuring that your resume includes the most important terms and phrases. This improves your resume's visibility in applicant tracking systems, also known as ATS, and increases your chances of getting past the screening process. Then comes data-driven insights. Now AI-powered tools provide valuable insights and analytics, helping you understand your strengths, your weaknesses and areas of improvement. This enables you to make data-driven decisions and optimize your resume for better results. Now before we talk about how to build an ATS-friendly resume, first just know what exactly is an ATS resume. An ATS, or an applicant tracking system, is a software tool used by organizations to streamline and manage the recruitment process. It simplifies tasks such as posting job openings, receiving and organizing resumes, and tracking candidates through various stages of hiring. The system often includes features for parsing resumes to extract key information such as contact details and qualifications, and can filter applications based on specific criteria. ATS systems also facilitate communications with candidates, help schedule interviews, and provide reporting and analytics to evaluate the effectiveness of the recruitment process. By automating and organizing these tasks, an ATS improves efficiency and ensures a more structured approach to hiring. Now let's look at how to build an ATS resume. So basically in this module, I'll guide you through the steps to create an effective ATS resume. So step number 1, choose the right format. Number 2, write a keyword-rich summary. Step number 3, use relevant keywords and phrases. Step number 4, optimize your work experience. Step number 5, highlight your skills, create a separate skills section to showcase your relevant skills. Step number 6, include a relevant education and certifications. Step number 7, proofread and edit. Step number 8, final check. Review the job posting and ensure your resume matches the requirements. Now gone are the days when you used to create one CV for absolutely every job posting that you want to apply to. Now with every job posting comes a customized CV that you have to create. How to do that? All that I will be showing in this video. Stay tuned. Now let's start off by creating a resume from scratch. As I have told you earlier that a resume should be tailor-made to a specific job description. Now when I'm talking about specific job description, I mean it has to be pertaining to the role that you are applying to. Now in order to create that, I have a sample resume with me that I'll be showcasing you. And the first thought that we should have in creating a resume should be, what are the key elements that are involved in creating a resume? Let's start off looking at the sample resume that I have. So as you can see on my screen over here, I have this document in which there is a sample resume. Now, looking at it from the first glance, you will know that it does not have any fancy flashy things, not a very contrasting colors, not a different elements to it, not a different icons to it, but a very simple, concise information that the recruiters see while choosing you as your job applicant. Now, in order to create this particular resume, the first element is your name, right? So that comes as a highlighted bold text at the center of your resume. Now, this can be a bit of a variation from everybody, does not have to be the same way. You can either create it on the left side or on the center. Do not create it on the right side of the margins, because it does not really make sense. The first glance should be reading from left to right. That's how we read English, right? From left to right. So create it on the left side or on the center, your name. So the next element would be your personal information. What does that include? That includes your phone number, that includes your email ID that is there. Also, in a professional setup, we also have LinkedIn profile these days that gives you a professional outlook of how your portfolio is like. Then comes the GitHub portfolio. If you are from, let's say, a computer science background or a data analytics background, you would have your project stored as in GitHub. So that portfolio is also to be showcased as a GitHub link, and the location where you currently reside in, be it Bangalore, be it Delhi, be it Bombay, or anywhere in the world that you are currently working at or residing at. So that will come in your second line, that is also known as byline of your resume. Then the first element that comes up in this particular resume is the objective or the professional summary. Now, this entire resume that I'm showcasing to you is an ATS-friendly resume. So you can see that there are no tables, no graphs, nothing, no differentiation between the left margin and the right margin. So this is just in a one way. You do not have to go to the left margins or the right margins, nothing like that. Just headers, the description, right? And when I'll create it for you from scratch, you will know that all these things make sense, because it will give you the entire gist of what your career profile looks like in just 1 or 2 sheets. That's all. I've seen a lot of resumes that have 4-5 pages of content, of information about everything that is there. So that is absolutely not required. Number 2 question that I get is that whether to include your passport size image or any sort of thumbnail image in your CV. So you do not have to add your image to the CV, because the applicant tracking system would anyways not catch it. Number 2 reason is quite easy to know, that anyways if they are shortlisting your CV, they will again have you in your technical interviews or group discussions or HR interviews. Anyways, you would have a face-to-face interview or a call interview that would also include, let's say, Google Meet or a Teams. So your face would anyways would be displayed. So also another thing, that they would not be selecting your resume based on how you look. So it doesn't really matter to have your image in your CV. Then the first element, the first key element of your entire CV is your objective and professional summary. So what does this mean? This basically means that if you are basically a fresher, or if you're transitioning to any other field, the objective that you're seeking to from your professional journey, whatever the key elements that are there in your professional journey, should come in this objective column over here. Okay. Now, it can also have a snapshot of what your skills are, what you're good at, what you have mastered over the course. If you are an experienced person, whatever you have mastered. If you're a fresher, maybe what degree you are in, what are your passions, whatever interests, in terms of which domain you want to go in, all that can be added in your professional summary. So with the use of ChatGPT 4.0, I will showcase how to create a crisp sort of objective or a professional summary. So we'll do that in depth. Just hold on to it. Also, this sample resume I am personally adding in the description box below, so you can go and download it and you can edit this as well. Then comes the second key element, is the key skills and tools. So now what does this mean? So this means that, let's say if you are a computer science background person or a data analyst or aspiring data analyst, so you would have key technical skills that you would have, right? Let's say you would have Tableau, you would have experience in Python, you would have a lot of different sort of skills, technical skills that you would have. Now that is something that you can showcase over here in key skills and tools section. Okay. Also, I will tell you the order in which the resume should be. So either it can be objectives and key skills, or if you do not want your key skills to be displayed at the top, you can keep it at after the project section. I will tell you when I reach there. So, but the key skills and tools basically means whatever technical skills you have or the soft skills that you have can also be added in this section, right? If you're from marketing domain, you would have a lot of tools like Google Analytics 4, be it MailChimp, all these tools, Ahrefs, SEMrush. So all these tools can also be added in this particular section. So this is basically for the recruiter to know that what are your key domain expertise, what softwares do you really know, and so it will become helpful for them also to actually shortlist the candidates that have the required skills. Then comes the work experience, or in case if you're a fresher, that is the internship section. So in this is basically that if you're working in XYZ company, so we'll mention the organization name, you'll mention the designation in which you are working, and also you can see the only thing that comes at the right hand side of this particular CV is the duration of your employment. So let's say you started in January 21 and you're currently working, so you'll just write January 21 dash present, right? Then comes the byline to this particular designation. So you would have, let's say you worked in 5 companies, so you would have 5 different sort of subheaders in the section of work experience. So it will always start with the current one and then go on to the one that you did earlier from scratch. So it will go from the present one to the older one. Now the next important thing here is what you need to add in this section. So this is the main area where your recruiter will mark you as. This is the main area in which the recruiter will judge you. How is that? So I've seen a lot of resumes in which people write what they have worked on, right? Whatever they have worked on, whatever they have done their, let's say, projects on, anything and everything, they write it over here. That is well and good, but that is not something that the recruiters are looking for, right? If you write a lot of qualitative data in your work experience section in a way that does not give or reflect an output, then your entire work experience section is a waste. Why? So let's just say you have worked on a data analytics project. Let's say you are compiling some data and you need to find data visualizations at the end. Now that data may be, let's say, 10 lakh rows, 11 lakh rows, and you use softwares like Python, SQL, and Tableau for visualizations. Now, if I'm writing in this section, okay, I worked on this project, right? I worked on this project, XYZ project I worked on, but I do not write anything else what the output was, then the entire work experience is a waste, because work input is not exactly equal to work output. So you need to be very quantitative with the fact what you're putting in the work experience section. It has to be, let's say that I worked on XYZ project which resulted in 20% increase of revenue or new findings for the company to make informed decisions. Something of that sort should be added in the work experience section. So this is a one key element that you have to note and mark it as important anywhere you're noting it down, that this is something that you have to take care of. Next comes the project section. Now, if you are someone who is just out of college, so in your 4th year, you would have one semester in which you might do an internship or you do a project. If you've done an internship, you can write it in your work experience section, or if you've done some project in the project section. Now, this would also include your extra projects that you have done over the years in any degree that you pursue, be it tech related, be it engineering background, non-engineering background, doesn't matter. Whatever the projects you have put in, you have to add it, name of the project. You can also add which year you have worked on that particular project and what was the project all about. So mention all the project relevant to the course you have enrolled for. Also mention the name of all the projects along with the short description of each project, right? So all these things are included in this particular section. So the next element that we have is the education section. So in this, whatever type of education that you have gotten over the years, you have to mention it from the latest one to the earlier one. So be it, let's say you have done your postgraduate, you have done your undergraduate, you have done your 11th and 10th. So all that scores and from where you have achieved that particular education has to be written in this section. Okay. So let's say if you're a fresher, then it is bit important for you to write your 12th grade, the school, your 12th grade marks, your school of your 10th grade and the 10th grade marks as well. If you are an experienced professional, you do not really need to write your uh, education. You do not have to write any sort of bylines to it. You just have to write your undergrad and your postgrad, if any. So the education section takes priority when you are a fresher. It does not take priority when you have years of experience, right? So for example, if you're a fresher, then this section would not come this far off in your CV. It would be your second section. After objectives and summary, you can directly go for the education section, because as a fresher, the most important element for you is where you have done your undergrad from, right? I'm assuming that you're getting a job after undergrad, so that is where you have to write your education section. Then comes all the certifications that you have gotten when you are studying in your undergrad, 11th, 12th, or in your school. So whenever you have gotten some sort of certification, you can mention it. So now this has to be something that is of importance with the job description that you are applying for. Now if something is related to data, and you have, let's say, done something in some other field that is not relevant, let's say marketing, then you do not really need to write that certification here. Though if you write, it does not really change anything. But if you have a little bit space left, then you can write. Otherwise, there is no need. Also, make sure that your resume is not more than 2 pages, hardline 2 pages. Howsoever your journey in your career professional space would be, it should not exceed more than 2 pages. Okay, because at the end of the day, when the recruiters are looking at your CV, they do not have ample time to just go through all the pages of your CV. They'll just have a brief outlook of, okay, these are the elements to it. Then they will decide in a whiff of a second that whether to choose your resume or to leave it. So that is what is really important when you are creating your resume. You should do not have to write long stories in your resume. That does not count. The next element or the final element is your achievements and any awards that you've gotten. Be it, let's say, in your job, you have, let's say, employee of the month, you have the quarterly prizes that are distributed. So all that thing can be written in this particular section. Then comes what are the various achievements that you have in terms of, let's say, in school you participated in XYZ, you won something. That can also be written. Maybe you have participated in Model United Nations, right? So that also displays your leadership potential. So that can also be added into your particular CV. Now, one element that also I need to tell you in this particular sample resume is that every resume that comes, right, to the recruiters, one thing that they look at is the all round performance of that candidate, right? It does not have to be, okay, you're too nerdy that you only have good sort of scores, but you do not have extracurriculars, you do not have any other certifications, you do not have any other awards and achievements, right? So this awards and achievement section, right, it does not really have to be niche centric. It has to be something that displays that, yeah, you can manage and balance your work and your life. So that work life balance has to be displayed in your CV. That is very, very important, right? This is how your resume should be crisped out in 1 or 2 pages, and this is how you should start creating your resume. You do not have to be flashy in this particular part. You do not have to be very, very creative in creating icons, creating logos, or adding images. Nothing of that sort is required. Just a simple CV that conveys the most amount of information in a crisp manner. That's the objective. So now let's start off by crafting a resume from scratch with the help of ChatGPT 4.0. Now 4.0 is the latest model of ChatGPT that they have rolled out, also known as 4 Omni, right? So we'll utilize that in creating a resume and all the different elements of the resume that are there, right? So as I told you earlier, that everything that we are doing here is tailor made for a specific purpose, for a specific job description. So here I have created a dummy job description of the job title data analyst, right? So this is something that the recruiters post on various platforms like their own website, be it LinkedIn or be it any other third party recruiting websites. So everything would be added in that. So now this is the element that they have of what the recruiters post. Number one comes the job summary. So it's clearly written. Let's read it out. We are seeking a highly skilled data analyst to join our team. The successful candidate will be responsible for collecting, organizing, and analyzing the data to help us make informed business decisions. The ideal candidate will have a strong background in statistics, data modeling, and data vision. So all these elements that are added. Then is the responsibilities. Now this is the section that you need to be really careful in reading this particular section, because this is something that you would have to add in your particular resume. So it's written, collect and analyze large data sets to identify trends, patterns, and correlations. That is basically talking about if you're learning Python or SQL. So that's number one right there. Then comes develop and maintain databases, SQL again, data models, this is ML algorithms if you know. Then data visualizations, this is Tableau or Power BI, to present findings to the stakeholders. So basically they want that you need to know the entire data journey, right from how the data is extracted, be it from the primary source, be it from the secondary source, then how it is basically analyzed, basically manipulated, all the EDA is done, exploratory data analysis is done, and then finally you have a visualization that comes up in terms of graphs and charts. So that is what it is indicating over here. The next element is working with the cross-functional teams to integrate data insights into business decisions. So here what the recruiter wants to understand is that whether you are good in communication with other teams, do you have that team bonding spirit that is there in terms of understanding from the stakeholders and vice versa, communicating with them for all the project needs. So that is what is asked here. Then it comes develop and implement data quality control processes to ensure data accuracy and integrity. Basically it is something about whether you know how a data works, what type of data it is, and do you know understand the nuances of the quality of that data. So all that is mentioned over here. So in this case basically it talks about the basic elements of being a data analyst, not something that is really big, right? Then it comes the basic requirements that are there, bachelor's degree in, let's say, math, statistics, computer science or related field, 2+ years of experience in data analysis or related field, strong knowledge of statistical analysis software like R, Python and Excel, then Tableau and Power BI for visualization, problem solving skills, that is anyways written in any job description today, right? Then there's some different element here that is known as nice to haves. That is something that if you have a master's degree, that would be preferred, or experience in machine learning algorithms, that would be preferred. So this is not something that you need to focus on, you just need to focus on the requirements that are there. If you have these, then incorporate these keywords in your resume, right? At the start of this particular video, I told you one important aspect, that keywords play a very important role when you are making a resume that is ATS friendly. So make sure that the elements that are mentioned in the job description that is here should also be added in your resume. That is the catch over here. And that is the particular reason why I keep telling you that every CV you make should be a tailor-made CV for your dream job. You cannot have one CV. Gone are those days in which we create one CV and send them to multiple organizations. That is not the case anymore. You have to create a tailor-made CV for every single job opening that you are applying for. Okay. So then what they offer. So this is the section in which the recruiters will vaguely put things. Okay. They don't want to disclose the package or the benefits because they want to attract the best sort of talent that is there, right? Then they can negotiate on the salary part, that is, and the compensation part, that is a different story. This section is not really easy to understand from a applicant point of view, right? So this is vague statement. You do not have to look at that at all, to be very honest. If you want to see that what they offer, you have to like put your words or put your thoughts forward in the interview rounds. Okay, now let's start off by creating the resume from scratch. So in this case, what we have is I have created a dummy profile of a person named John Doe. Now John Doe wants to be a data analyst and he's currently working in some XYZ company. So his professional experience is for about, let's say, 2 years, and he has worked before as junior data analyst, as you can see over here, and whatever job things he has done, it's mentioned over here, right? Then education is mentioned, skill is mentioned, certification, project is mentioned. So this is something that is a rough draft of your CV, nothing that is too interesting or complicated, right? So what I'll do is I'll ask ChatGPT to create different elements for my particular CV, crafted in a way that demonstrate a particular job description, right? So for the job description of data analyst, I'll first feed this information with ChatGPT 4.0. Why is that required? Because ChatGPT as a model does not have its own thinking about different job openings, right? you have to input them. Okay, this is the tailored job description that they have. Now, whatever elements of the CV I'm going to put forward as prompts need to be tailor made with that job description. That is the first element that I need to input over here. So now let's start with the ChatGPT 4.0 model. So this is basically the dashboard of ChatGPT. Now everybody knows how it looks. So let's just start off with our first prompt. Now in the first prompt, what I need to do is basically give it an outlook and an overview of what I'm going to do in this particular thread. As we know, ChatGPT has its own memory of the prompts that are asked in the particular thread. So this is the first prompt that I'm adding. So what I have written over here is that I am creating a tailored CV for a specific job description that I've added below. So I've added that job description that I just showed you. And at the end, I have written that please help in creating tailored resume in this thread. I would be adding my profile and specific prompts from the next prompts. So I've given it a basic gist of what I'm going to do in this particular thread, right? So when I put enter, so it gives me basic overview. Okay, sure, please go ahead and share your profile details including your experience, skills, education and any other relevant information. This will help in crafting a tailored resume, right? So now I will give it a basic profiling of what I want. Okay, so this is basically the basic profile of a person named John Doe. Now I'm writing, I would be adding specific prompts for each section from next prompt. Okay, so now I've given it the raw data, basic raw data of what is my profile and what is the job description. So job description I have fed the information, my profile I have fed the information, right? So the dummy information is fed over here, right? So next, what is the next aspect to it? Now it also gives me that, okay, go ahead, provide the specific prompts to it, right? So the first element in our profile was the objective or the professional summary. So I'll go ahead and give it a prompt that would be specific to the objective of my resume or the professional summary. So the first prompt here is about the professional summary of your resume. So the prompt is something like, use this prompt and understand the information I fed before. So I'm giving, with this particular line, I'm giving a gist of what is happening in the thread above and telling it that there is a information about the job description as well as my personal draft resume that I have fed the information to ChatGPT. Now with this information, I have added a longer prompt with detailed aspects of what I want in the professional summary. So I've written, can you assist in crafting a professional summary for the above role that emphasizes my extensive experience in this field? I have proven track record of success in the achievements and projects that I have mentioned, that are the information that I have fed, and my expertise lies in the skills that are mentioned. So it will extract the information from the rough CV that I have given and give me a professional summary out of it, right? So let's see what the result is. So it already takes up and gets those aspects from the job description as well as the aspects from the rough CV I have mentioned, right? So what it says is, based on your profile, the provided prompt, here's a tailored professional summary for the data analyst role, right? So it has given me a professional summary, highly skilled data analyst, over 3 years of experience in leveraging data to drive business decisions and operational efficiencies. So all these aspects that are given by GPT 4.0 is something that for us to write would take a longer time. It would probably take a day's time for us to properly craft a professional summary. So in order to reduce the load, you can give them specific pointers, right? So in the above prompt, if I have written some things in key brackets, right? So that are the aspects that you have to change yourself. And don't worry, these prompts I will be providing you at the end of this session. You will get the entire set of prompts so that your work of creating your CV from scratch will be reduced. Okay. So this is the element. Now one more key aspect that you can find in the answer that I have gotten from ChatGPT 4.0 is about how it has used quantitative data, right? Efficiency by 15%, sales by 10%, because the rough CV draft that I fed information to also had these percentages. So it is not creating the percentages on its own, but it is taking the information from what I fed to it in the previous prompts. So that is as simple as that. So this is our professional summary. So first aspect, right? So this is basically the CV, the sample CV that I showed you. So the first element is cleared up, right? Second is the key skills and tools, or maybe the work experience, depending on what you want to put at the top, right? So let's look at the next prompt. So next I will be talking about the key skills and tool section. So I have a prompt right here to jot down all the key skills that are required for this current role. So the prompt is something like, help me list and describe the most relevant skills for a role that is defined by me, focusing on both the hard and the soft skills, right? So for example, I have expertise in this. So it gives me a gist of what skills are required and what to put for data analyst role, right? Both the tech skills and also the soft skills. So let's see what it gives. So now, since it is data analytics, so it has given me hard skills that are data analysis and statistical model. So basically, statistics plays a very crucial role in data analysis, right? You have to build on models, be it probability, be it permutations and combinations. So all that and statistics involved are required for any data analyst to learn when they are starting out with this particular domain. So then comes data visualization and reporting. So all the tools like Tableau, Power BI and Excel, so that is required, that is mentioned. Then database management and SQL, data quality automation. So it is written that, okay, this is also the key skill that is required in this particular domain. Soft skills, again, as mentioned in the job description as well, there was a key term called problem solving. So in soft skills, we'll write problem solving, analytical thinking, communication and presentation, collaboration and teamwork. You do not really need to explain all of this as it is given by GPT-4o, but you can take the headers that are there and add them as hard skills or soft skills. Maybe use the word as tech skills or software skills or technical skills. Use that terms and then mention all the softwares or all the applications that you know. Okay, so this was about the skill section. Again, these prompts I will be providing you at the end of this session. So next up comes about the work experience, right? So as mentioned that it has to be very quantitative in nature. So I will add that particular prompt for it. So one thing about this LLM models, right? The ones that are based on this machine learning algorithms. So all these models, be it ChatGPT, be it Gemini, everybody, so they have to be given such elaborate prompts to get a very specific tailored result. If you give them one-liner prompts, it is for certain that you would get a vague reply and it would not be something that is different from the rest of the crowd. So in order to stand out, right, everybody would be using these tools. But in order to stand out, you need to have customized prompts that will help you create your resume from scratch with all the relevant keywords, and also it needs to be ATS friendly. So now these are the kind of prompts that you would require to create an ATS friendly resume. So for work experience, I've added how can I best describe my work experience for a specific role. I've worked as whatever the numbers that you would have, just tell the name, the job title, the previous company, for how many years. So where I was responsible for, what are the key responsibilities during my tenure successfully, what are the achievements are there in particular that particular profile, you mention that, right? Also, in addition to that, you can also write that the experience aligned with the responsibilities of the current role. So you need to align your previous company's role with the current one, right? So it has to be that way. So you have to basically look at what the job description wants, what you have done, make the changes and make it customized to what the job description wants, right? So professional experience. So in the CV dump, the dummy CV dump that I gave to ChatGPT, it had two profiles, right? Data analyst and junior data analyst. So it took the data from there, whatever percentages were mentioned, modified it in a way in which it shows that you have worked on something with a logical output of it. So that is something that is really, really important when you are looking at a good section of work experience. So the next element is again the achievements part. So what are the achievements that you have done in the previous role to make my resume stand out? For example, I've increased the specific metric by the percentage of the number through, and also if you have led the team, right? If you have led a team, how many number of people have you led to successfully complete some project which resulted in, right? So this has to be added in the prompt, that you would want an output to be written as well in that crisp statement that you want to make and add in your resume, right? So as mentioned earlier, longer the resume is not the ideal thing, shorter the resume, the crisper the resume, the better it is. So again, from my dump, it took out the achievements that are there, just like increase operational efficiency, enhance decision making. These are the elements that it has taken from the job description that I provided, right? Data automation, sales forecasting model, customer churn reduction, team leadership, customer acquisition. So all these key elements are the achievements that I have done when I was working in XYZ companies. And so that is highlighted in the achievement section of my CV, right? So again, I'll keep on pointing this out that quantitative data is as important as writing statements that are qualitative, right? So have that in your mind. Next is the education section. So how do I represent my educational background to make it most relevant to the specific role, right? So this is basically the prompt that I'm adding to make sure my education section is displayed properly, right? So for example, the one that I input, it had bachelor of science in computer science. So it mentions what the specializations were, relevant coursework, key projects that were there, extracurricular activities. So you can always add on to the information in the prompt to make it as customized as possible, right? So in the prompt itself, you can see that I mentioned about the relevant subjects, which specialization I took, then the extracurricular activities or the internships that I did, valuable experience in, what other upskilling that I did. So all these things needs to be highlighted in that section as well, right? So this is done. But again, if you are someone who is an experienced individual, then you don't need to do all of that. You just have to mention the basics of, okay, this was your start year, the end year of that particular, be it PG, be it undergrad. That is the thing that you need to mention. Maybe the specific skills or specializations, or maybe some minor in, let's say, digital marketing if you have done. So you can mention that, not more than that. Your GPA also needs to be added. That is always a plus to add. If you have a good CGPA, why not add it? The next one is the project section. So I'll just have a brief overview of what to add. So assessment detailing my projects related to the specific technology that would be relevant to the role. For instance, I led a project where these things are resulted. So all these elements can be added in this particular thing. So it gave me the sales forecasting model that I worked on, lead data analyst, data analyst. So all these representations are there, and you can have as many customized representations as possible. Okay, it gives you a detailed analysis of all of them. So now after this, at the end of this, now your CV is finally complete. All the sections are completed. So all the prompts that I have told you in this course are very important. Make sure that you're utilizing those prompts to create and customize tailor-made resume. Now, as I mentioned before, that I will be giving you a bonus section. So I do have a prompt for what is known as cover letter, right? So let's look at that font. So let's just look at that prompt. So here I have written that help me write a cover letter that complements my resume for the role that I have mentioned before and explains why I'm a great fit for the position. I want to start with a strong introduction that grabs the reader's attention and briefly mentions how I found the job opening, right? In the body, I want to highlight my key qualifications and experiences that align with the job description, right? One of the key aspects that you can control in ChatGPT is the tonality of it, right? If you want it to be in a polite, let's say, ambitious tone, it can do that. If you want a more formal tone with less positive aspect, that can also be done. So any such thing that you want to change, you can change. You can tell them which tone you want to write it in. Also, if you want to write it in a manner that combines it all at the end, that can also be done. So the way you want, how you want it, with which tone you want it, all that can be customized using ChatGPT's newest model, GPT-4o. So let's see what is here and let's look at it. So with the data that I input to ChatGPT, it gave me a elaborate cover letter, and you can utilize it. You can change the name of the company. The title is already mentioned, and also whatever LinkedIn link you would have, that can be added as well, right? So it gives you basically a structured approach in the manner that I wanted. How did I want that? I wanted it to have a strong introduction that grabs the reader's attention, and also about highlighting the key qualification experiences, right? So as you can see here, it has taken care of all of that. Even it has mentioned the Tableau dashboard that I worked on in the sales forecasting model. So all these aspects are taken care of. You can customize it as much as you want, right? So this is a great help for you. So now I'm sure that the CV that you create would outshine your competitors around you, right? So as a bonus, again, I have written down a list of prompts that you can use to make your resume stand out, right? So here, as you can see on the screen, that I have added the prompts regarding the objective, professional summary, work experience, achievements, skill section, education, certifications, projects, and also the prompts on software developer, marketing manager, data scientist, and all these aspects, right? Also, these are the ones that are more customized to a job role, be it like data scientist or marketing manager, software developer. So these prompts will help you create an entire resume from scratch. Again, I would mention that as much detailed prompt as you can input, the better the result you would get. Now that you have learned about how to create a resume from scratch using ChatGPT 4.0, I'm sure that the next resume that you create would be a game changer. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and stay tuned to upgrade. Now let me ask you something. Are you someone who wants to lead your organization into the future with generative AI at the top? Our exclusive course, Generative AI for Leaders, is crafted for forward-looking professionals who want to move beyond theory and practice real-world Gen AI solutions. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to start your journey to become a Gen AI leader today.